What's up, Taiwan? I'm Louise with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. We start off with controversy around a claim that almost 90% of Taiwan's retired officers have spied for China. Officials in Taiwan have been quick to denounce the claim contained within a Japanese media report. But it's reignited debate over the threat posed by espionage. Jaime Ocon reports.
This report from Japan's Nikkei newspaper says that up to 90% of retired Taiwanese officers have provided intelligence to China in exchange for money. It cites unnamed military sources for its claim. The lurid accusation prompted Taiwan's Minister of Veteran Affairs to issue a heated response.
怎么会连日本人都来侮辱我们呢？所以我回了一句很不好听的话，我说放他妈屁！有违反了国安的法令，我们会退除他的退出。
It's far from the first time Taiwan's military has faced accusation of spies in its ranks. Numerous cases have come to light of China bribing both active and retired military officials in Taiwan. They are usually lured with things like expensive trips and money. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory, and in recent years, Beijing has stepped up its military aggression with threats of invasion. And that means both sides are desperate to know what the other is planning.
The intelligence agencies on both sides made many attempts and efforts to recruit sources from the other side. Taiwan does it, China does it. It's just part of what countries do in peacetime to adversarial forces.
Taiwan's military has cracked down on suspected espionage cases in recent years. That includes increasing fines and jail time for those caught providing information to China. But the country's defense ministry dismissed Nikkei's claims that 90% of retired officers are providing intel.
以不明的消息来源质疑国军卫国忠诚度，相关的报道凭空杜撰，没有经过查证，就以耸动标题污蔑国军官兵气节，分化部队团结。
While Taiwan's authorities have firmly rebutted the numbers in this report, the problem of Chinese spies in Taiwan is something the country's military says is a serious threat. And analysts say that Taiwan should reinforce security within its ranks.
It's very likely that they still have some sources, some spies within right now that we're not aware of. And generally, I think the focus should be on the information security practices within the military.
While Taiwan bolsters its defenses against external threats with things like fighter jets, tanks, and weapons, the military will also have to be on the lookout for threats within the country's own borders. Damon Lin and Jaime Ocon for TaiwanPlus.
A poll has found that 85% of people in Taiwan think public prosecutors can be subject to political influence. The Taiwan Citizens Commission on Human Rights surveyed more than 1,000 people. More than half said they were unsatisfied with judicial reforms. A majority said they believed prosecutors engage in corrupt behavior when handling cases, such as accepting bribes. This is despite Taiwan receiving a high score for judicial effectiveness in a recent Global Economic Freedom Index. In response, Taiwan's judicial branch said that political figures are sometimes involved in cases, but that prosecutors treat those cases fairly. Lawmakers in Taiwan are calling on the government to end the country's controversial make-up days. They say the system, which sees workers and students endure 6-day weeks several times a year, is unfair.
有点像人工加味的这个小确幸，那到最后这种确幸，那个味道会变的。
Under the setup, when a national holiday falls on a Thursday, for example, Taiwan can give workers the Friday off as well to make a long weekend. But workers then have to make up that extra day off by going into the office on a Saturday or Sunday. This year, there are 6 make-up days, an unusually high number. As well as calling for the government to limit or scrap them, lawmakers have proposed adding more public holidays. These include Freedom of Speech Day, International Migrants' Day, and the winter solstice. 10 people have been indicted in a case of alleged vote rigging in the southern city of Tainan. The case revolves around the election for Tainan City Council Speaker in December. Those charged include the current Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Both are from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP. 3 city councillors and 5 other people, including a former high-ranking DPP official, were also charged. 6 of the defendants had been detained. They were released on bail on Thursday and are now under house arrest. President Tsai has met with Canada's main representative in Taiwan, Jim Nicol. The pair met at the presidential office on Thursday. Tsai says she hoped to exchange views on various issues with the Canadian Trade Office in Taiwan. This includes support for Taiwan's inclusion in the CPTPP, a multinational trade pact.
台湾和加拿大在经济领域具有高度的互补性。目前台湾正积极争取加入 CPTPP， 我们期待加拿大能够支持台湾加入 CPTPP， 共同创造更多的繁荣。
A traditional Taiwanese performance art has been experiencing a revival. Jiang is often performed in parades held by temples. It hasn't always had the best reputation because of its perceived ties to local gangs. But one Jiang troupe is working to make a better impression. Jiang has the story.
A group of fiercely painted warriors high-fives the audience. This is not what most Taiwanese picture when they think of traditional performance art, Jiang. The form combines dance and martial arts and is popular at local temples. Performers march at the front of temple parades. They are meant to be guards for the temple's deities, fending off bad spirits. It's rare for them to show off their friendly side, like for this audience in France. The leader of the Jishentang troop said he asked for permission from the deity before traveling halfway around the world. The deity gave its permission, though it had some reminders.
阮主讲出里出国个无方便，甲人的民俗无相共。
The troops' presence at the renowned Carnival of Nice is a world away from their usual performance space. Many people in Taiwan see Jiang performers as shady characters with connections to local gangs. In recent years, more and more young people have developed an appreciation for the art form and have joined the effort to preserve it. The Jishentang troops' journey to Europe was a first for Taiwanese Jiang performers. The troupe had to raise money to fund the trip.
那我们是有文化资产保存团体的身份，不过以文资身份要出国，国内大概比较少有这样子的补助的款项。
Because Jiang is traditionally a religious ritual, some performers may not agree with using public performances to raise its profile. But these dedicated believers of Taoism see it as a bigger opportunity to preserve a significant part of Taiwan's culture. Damon Lin and Jiang for TaiwanPlus.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. It's their first meeting since Russia invaded Ukraine.
I told the Foreign Minister what I and so many others said last week at the United Nations and what so many G20 foreign ministers said today. End this war of aggression. Engage in meaningful diplomacy that can produce a just and durable peace. President Zelensky has put forward a 10-point plan for a just and durable peace. The United States stand ready to support Ukraine through diplomacy to end the war on this basis.
The unplanned talk took place on the sidelines of a G20 meeting in New Delhi. But this time, the countries aren't going to issue their customary joint statement because of differences over Ukraine. The US called for a ceasefire, but Lavrov accused the West of blackmail and threats. The conflict has been going on for over a year. On Thursday, Moscow accused Ukraine of crossing over Russia's western border and killing civilians. Ukraine denies this, saying it's a Russian excuse to intensify attacks. Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. I'm Louise Watt. Take care, and I'll see you next time.